I picked up an ASUS TUF 15.6-inch gaming laptop with the model number on the screen there from Best Buy, and I thought I'd give you a gaming experience. It's a Core i5-9300H with a GTX 1654GB video card, 8 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive. So we'll check a few games and see how it works out. So the first game we're going to play here is Cyberpunk 2077. I'm playing this on medium settings. Show you how it goes. If you notice, the stats are in the top left hand corner showing you the usage of the GPU, CPU, RAM, and how many frames per second. So you can see on medium settings we're getting over 30 frames a second, kind of the mid 30s, which makes the game playable. Looks pretty good too, but there are the odd hiccup there where it drops down to the mid 20s. So in those instances the gameplay isn't quite as good as you would hope, but it's certainly playable on this entry-level hardware, and I'm playing it on a hard drive. Cyberpunk is actually recommended to play off of a solid-state drive, so it actually loads reasonably fast off of a hard drive, which I was surprised, and plays as good as well. It just, you watch the frame rate drop as we get closer to the busier areas of the game, like say this checkpoint here where there's more things on the screen and the frame rate gets closer or drops below 30 frames per second.
Please direct your vehicle to the inspection area. Remain in your vehicle. The security check will begin shortly.
I got a real bad feeling about this.
Hand me the manifest. They'll need to see it.
Grab these.
Let me see. It's marked LOA. Perfect.
What's that mean?
Lost on arrival. It means the cargo is flagged as to be lost as soon as across the border.
So now we'll take a look at the same game, so Cyberpunk 2077, but we'll change the settings to low in order to get better frame rates. It'll obviously affect the graphics settings in the game, but this game still looks good at low settings. So what we're going to do here, we'll apply this and try the game again here. You notice the performance boost in frame rates is about, say, 10 to 15 frames per second, which makes this game a lot smoother. I never really noticed how much of a difference it made until I tried this out on here, and it actually looks pretty good. But again, it still suffers from frame rate drops as you get closer to places where there's more characters, more things on the screen. As you notice, we get to this checkpoint again, the frame rate will drop closer to 30, and I think, I'm not quite sure, I don't remember, I think it drops below 32 there a little bit. So just keep your eye on the top left hand corner of the screen.
What now?
Nothing. They'll scan us and check our papers.
Okay.
I'll do the talking.
Please direct your vehicle to the inspection area. Remain in your vehicle. The security check will begin shortly.
I got a real bad feeling about this.
Hand me the manifest. They'll need to see it.
Grab these.
Let me see.
So I guess I was wrong there, it didn't drop below 30 at all, so that's actually very acceptable frame rates.
The cargo is flagged as to be lost as soon as across the border.
So the next game on the list is Crysis Remastered. If you notice, the frame rate's set to 60 frames per second, and if you have optimal settings here, it sets it for low. So we'll just take a look and see how it looks in game.
Nice and quiet.
If you notice, the GPU there in the top left hand corner and the CPU, neither one of them are maxed out. So we're getting the full 60 frames per second that the game is locked at. It makes for a smooth experience with no stutters, no problems, and it actually works really well on this low-end hardware just out of the box with very little RAM, and this GTX 1650 being more of an entry-level video card.
patrols down on the beach. Use your binocs to tag them before you run in blind.
And last but not least, I decided to run the Shadow of Tomb Raider benchmark, and as you can see, the frame rate dips as low as the mid-20s, but for the most part remains kind of at that 45 to 50 FPS mark. This was one of the first games I noticed sometimes there's a little bit of a stutter when the game is playing. It doesn't really affect gaming so much, I wouldn't think, but it seems odd that there's a little bit of a stutter there when it plays. But you know, hitting, well, there's a dip there to 19, but hitting kind of that 30 to 40 frames per second makes it playable on here with no real problems. So hopefully that gives you a good idea as to what to expect from this ASUS TUF FX505GT gaming laptop. Even though it's an entry-level machine, it's more than capable of playing most of today's games at 30 FPS or higher, and certainly is a good buy for someone looking for an entry-level gaming PC, even for themselves or even for their kids. As always, if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. And otherwise, thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.